WE just won the title back from Sami Zayn's hands without even touching the belt yet, because the moment he won it, the clock reportedly already started on losing it. That's where we're starting tonight, and there's a lot more second WS being accused of straight-up copying AEW. John Cena might be teasing a return, and we've got some real, serious news involving a wrestling legend that we need to talk about properly. Let's get into everything. Our top story tonight looks at Sami Zayn's WE Championship win and a growing accusation that WWE copied a recent AEW storyline almost beat for beat. Dave Meltzer addressed this directly on Wrestling Observer Live, comparing Zayn's surprise title win to Darby Allin's AEW World title win, calling the WE main event genuinely good and noting the championship change was a real surprise, while pointing out the similarity to how the Allin moment played out and that it could end up being just as successful depending on where WWE takes the story. Meltzer isn't the only person making that comparison. Plenty of fans online over the weekend pointed out the same parallel. And unfortunately, there's already bad news attached to Zayn's reign. A lot of fans are operating under the assumption that this title run is going to be extremely short, with the general consensus being that Zayn likely won't even be walking into SummerSlam as champion. WRKD Wrestling posted on X warning fans not to get too attached to Zayn holding the title, which is a fairly ominous sign on its own. The Wrestling Observer discussed this directly too, floating the idea that Zayn could lose the title back to Cody Rhodes, to Gunther, or even to Brock Lesnar to set up a Lesnar vs. Obafemi program, while noting there isn't an expectation of a long reign, with hope that it at least lasts past SummerSlam so it doesn't look like WWE gave him the title without meaning it. There's also social media speculation that Zayn could drop the title to Brock Lesnar as soon as Saturday night's main event next month, which would open the door for Lesnar vs. Obafemi at SummerSlam in August. If that's the actual plan, WE could face real backlash, since it would mean Zayn only held the title for about 3 weeks, a result a lot of fans would call genuinely underwhelming after the emotional weight of the original win. Next, there's been real insight into why Cody Rhodes ultimately dropped the title in the first place. Zayn is one of the most well-liked names in the wrestling business, with close friendships across multiple promotions, and wrestlers have been flooding social media to celebrate his win. Fightful Select reported that talent across the industry, both inside and outside WWE, were genuinely thrilled WWE finally pulled the trigger on Zayn winning the top title. At Clear In, they after want to get UE Cody title and Zayn winning the top title. While that's a wholesome detail, it actually adds more weight to the concern about a short reign. If Zayn gets the title taken away just weeks after finally reaching the top, that has real potential to cause backstage frustration, so WWE should be cautious if a quick turnaround really is the plan. It was also reported by Corey Hayes that the original creative plan was for Zayn to win the title at WrestleMania 43, meaning this was a significant last-minute pivot, which now leaves his actual WrestleMania plans up in the air. As for Rhodes, it sounds like Triple H simply wanted to pull this trigger earlier than originally scheduled, and honestly, a short break from the title shouldn't hurt Rhodes long-term. He'll get another run eventually. Moving on, is John Cena teasing a WWE return for Saturday night's main event? Cena posted a photo of Madison Square Garden on Instagram today with the official Danhausen event poster attached. Cena is contracted for a handful of appearances this year, and this could very well be one of them. Details on the so-called John Cena Classic remain extremely limited, so it's possible Cena uses this MSG appearance to reveal more information about that tournament. As of now, no matches have been officially announced for the show, just under 3 weeks out, though the marketing strongly suggests Danhausen is going to be a major focus. There's also a major comeback now confirmed. For the past month, there's been speculation about Baron Corbin returning to W despite Corbin publicly denying it. Fightful Select is now reporting the return is happening, and that he's already finished up with MLW. There was speculation Corbin would debut this past weekend during the Rollins Breaker Cage match, possibly helping his former tag partner pick up the win. That never happened, leaving fans to speculate on the actual plan. One popular theory involves Corbin and Braun Breaker reuniting as a tag team to help reignite the Raw Tag Division, essentially bringing back their old pairing. That's not the worst idea in the world. The team was genuinely popular with fans, and pulling Breaker away from his current stable could give him exactly the reset he needs. In a surprising twist, WWE actually managed to keep Night of Champions results almost entirely under wraps, which is rare, since leaks happen with nearly every premium live event. According to Fightful Select, the King of the Ring result was kept tightly guarded and never leaked ahead of time, and the fact that Sami Zayn's title win didn't leak either is close to a small miracle given how often major title changes get spoiled in advance. It looks like WWE may be implementing new internal procedures to prevent leaks going forward, which would genuinely make things more exciting for fans watching live. That success made the SmackDown leak from earlier this week stand out even more. WWE was reportedly very unhappy that the entire SmackDown broadcast leaked online before airing, not from someone backstage leaking results, but apparently because a live production feed somehow ended up on YouTube. Tonight could bring similar risk, since Raw is starting 2 hours earlier than usual, something that's been poorly communicated to fans, with plenty of confusion online about why WWE hasn't made a bigger deal of the schedule change. WWE is also taping SmackDown tonight, marking the first episode of the show's new 2-hour format. That's a lot of wrestling packed into one night, and if this week's SmackDown ends up leaking online again, WWE has a real, ongoing problem with footage escaping before broadcast. There's also chatter about FTR and a possible WWE return. Earlier this month, it was reported that FTR is entering contract talks with AEW, when while nobody expects them to actually leave for WWE, Sean Ross Sapp's Fightful Select Q&A noted that WWE would have real interest if they became available, possibly even reviving the FTR and Randy Orton stable idea. Sapp said he'd expect them to stay with AEW, suggesting they were likely using the WWE interest as leverage, while adding he wouldn't completely rule WWE out, noting they could finally do the FTR Orton pairing they'd previously discussed. Now to a story that deserves to be handled with real care. Former wrestling personality Missy Hyatt revealed she was involved in a serious car accident earlier this month and is now preparing for surgery as a result of her injuries. Hyatt, now 62, shared the news with fans on Instagram, explaining the accident happened on June 2nd and that the physical effects have continued weeks later. She didn't go into extensive detail about how the crash happened, but said the recovery has been difficult and that surgery is the next step in her treatment. She also asked that comments be turned off on her post, sharing that she doesn't usually post personal updates like this and acknowledging that reactions to posts like this can go either way. We're not going to read more into it than that. She shared what she chose to share on her own terms, and that's worth respecting. The wrestling community responded with a wave of support and well wishes from fans and fellow performers alike. For those unfamiliar, Hyatt was one of wrestling's most recognizable on-air personalities through the 1980s and early 90s, working with World Championship Wrestling, the American Wrestling Association, and ECW, along with a brief stint in WF in 1987. We're wishing Missy Hyatt a full and speedy recovery. In NXT news, Kendall Gray is the new NXT Women's Champion after defeating Lola Vice in the show's main event, marking Gray's first title reign since signing with the brand back in 2023 and notably paying homage to Kurt Angle with her ring attire. That win ends Lola Vice's 86-day reign. Elsewhere on the card, Tony D'Angelo retained the NXT Men's Championship with a win over Nathaniel Oliver. There's also word of a possible call-up from NXT, with Fightful Select reporting internal WE discussions about bringing Tatum Paxley up to either Raw or SmackDown, though nothing has been confirmed yet. It's a bit of a surprising time for call-up talk, especially with SmackDown losing its 3rd hour of programming as of this week. Logically, you'd expect call-ups closer to when the show reverts back to 3 hours next year, but WWE doesn't always operate on the most logical timeline. There's also a fun stat worth tracking now that Zayn has officially become a WWE Grand Slam champion, having won the world title, the Intercontinental title, the United States title, and a tag title. That narrows down the list of stars sitting just one championship away from reaching that same status. Sheamus and Damian Priest both just need an Intercontinental title. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes all just need a United States title. Shinsuke Nakamura and Matt Cardona both just need a world title to complete the set. Some of these are obviously more realistic than others, but a wrestler chasing that final piece could make for some genuinely fun storytelling over the coming months and years. And finally, there was a notable debut at TNA's Slammiversary event last night. TNA International Champion Mustafa Ali defended his title against Rich Swann and a debuting Hard Nation, otherwise known as Apollo Crews. Crews had a solid run in WW, having held both the United States and Intercontinental Championships, making him a sensible addition to TNA's roster. It'll be worth watching how he develops there. That's everything worth knowing from the wrestling world this week. Let us know what you think about Sami Zayn's title reign, potentially only lasting a few weeks, and send Missy Hyatt your well wishes down in the comments below. Subscribe for more wrestling content, and we'll see you next time.